I am muted again. What's up, everybody?
There we go.
Welcome into another video here of the Arizona Sports Fan. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We already have over 40 people here in the chat. Welcome in. We just got a big breaking news dropped on our heads this afternoon about starting quarterback Joshua Dobbs getting the nod over in week 1. Now, because I took some time to get this video, I want to play it still. I want to play what Jonathan Gannon just said an hour ago. Now, it is clipped to 2 different things. Before I get started, what's up, Mythic Man? How you doing over there? I appreciate you for joining.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, my man? Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know a lot of people really liked our collab, so why not do it again? Let's go ahead and bring the best of both worlds here together. Let me play this clip real quick. We'll react to it together, and then we'll talk about the breaking news that happened just 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and listen to what JG had to say about the quarterback situation. Let's dive into it.
You're starting QB. Do you just plan on rolling it out on Sunday, or might you tell us Friday? Could you do something Saturday?
No, guys, I ain't telling you anything.
Telling us, right?
Yeah, players know the plan.
I ain't telling you anything. Oh my God. And then we got breaking news coming out here for the Arizona Cardinals from Ian Rappaport. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, okay, you go, JG. Now, I know this is going to piss off a lot of people because a lot of people are like, we're going to suck anyways, right? The minds of a lot of people are like, it doesn't matter. But I was kind of like intrigued with it. Like, oh, give me a little bit more mystery. But here we are, right? We got some breaking news from Ian Rappaport. And I'll let you speak here, I promise you. Let me go ahead and just read this report from Ian Rappaport, and it says this. Sources: the Arizona Cardinals are expected to have Joshua Dobbs as their starting quarterback this week, with rookie Clayton Tune getting backup reps. They'll evaluate the situation each week, but this is how it begins. Talk to me, Mythic Man. What are your initial thoughts on all this chaos?
Honestly, first of all, like you said, I love the JG. I love the fact that he's keeping it a mystery. You got to keep every competitive advantage you can, and he's not coming out here like Cliff. We all know what Cliff would give you, the simple generic answers, the same thing every single week. Let's see if it changes up with JG, but I love the mystique that he's bringing so far. And I think we all knew kind of that Josh Dobbs was going to get the nod. I think we all knew it deep down. Clayton Tune, we all wanted him to start. The rookie, just throw him into the fire, but they're going for wins. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad with Josh Dobbs. Again, we're not tanking. For everyone who's out there saying we're tanking, this kind of disproves that. Because if so, we're throwing Clayton Tune to the fire. We're not doing that. We got Josh Dobbs right here. That's QB1. I like the move. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm a little conflicted. I'm a little conflicted. I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate it, but I really wanted to see Clayton Tune, truly. And it's just more of a personal preference more than anything. I don't have nothing against Joshua Dobbs. If he goes out here and lights it up for the Arizona Cardinals, obviously I think I will be singing a different tune, right? Next week, if he is going in there. Now, in that report from Ian Rappaport, it says they're going to evaluate it week for week, right? Now, I think you did say this last time we collabed where you said that you want Clayton Tune, but you know deep down that it's going to be Joshua Dobbs. And I know in me, deep down, deep, I believe what you said, but man, I wanted Clayton Tune to start so bad. But talking about that whole tanking situation, I was never one of those guys that felt like the Cardinals were tanking. I get the roster looks depleted. I get the roster looks what it is, but they're not tanking here. They're not tanking. They want to win games. Let me ask you this real quick. Joshua Dobbs, we just got him not too long ago, but what, a little over a week ago?
Probably like 1 to 2 weeks ago.
Is it been 2 weeks now? How do you think it's going to be he only doesn't have very much. Like he doesn't have very much. How do you think he's going to do week 1?
Because in 2 weeks span, even if I don't even know if it's been 2 weeks, like you said, like it's a
Right?
very short amount of time to get a system down, to get a playbook down. He is familiar with the OC, but still to get all that down in just such a short span and thrown into the fire against the Commanders team that does have a fantastic defense. They got players on there. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Right.
But I do think they're going to come in here with like a run heavy scheme. I think they're going to kind of let Josh Dobbs manage the game until he's caught up into another week. I don't know. I think he's definitely getting thrown into the fire. That is
for sure. For sure. Yeah. So I'm looking back at my YouTube videos here. 12 days ago is when I put that video out that we got a new quarterback. Now I get the idea that Joshua Dobbs has that connection with Drew Petzing, but don't you still need a connection with the wide receivers?
You absolutely do, because it doesn't just go as far as the OC, because you can know a system so much, but if you don't have that connection with your receivers, you don't have connection with the actual players, it doesn't matter. It's all about timing. You got to get timing down with your receivers. That is a crucial part. People underestimate that. It's like timing with receivers is different. The speed of players is different. He said, I'm pretty sure Josh Dobbs said it, if I'm not mistaken, that the speed of these receivers are something that like teams need to look out for. That is definitely an advantage we have is the speed, because we have a lot of speedsters. You got to get the timing down. If he has the timing down, then man, go for it. I love the move. But if he doesn't, I mean, who knows? Clayton Tune's been here a little longer. He's had an off season. He's been here as long as possible, as you can for a rookie. So it's going to be
and I think that's kind of one of my, I guess, my situations that I'm kind of in right now, where I'm like, he's gotten so many reps, but like at the other hand is I get the Drew Petzing, connection, but you're meaning to tell me that he came in here 12 days ago and automatically blew your shoes off and you're like, this is it. This is my guy. I mean, obviously week 1 is going to be telling, right? Like if we win or he plays very, very good, I think I'm going to be singing a different tune and I won't be crying so much. But honestly, I think at this very moment, like I'm just kind of in awe. I'm in awe more than anything about the move that was made, because 12 days ago is not very long. And he didn't practice 12 days. He probably has what, like 4,
maybe
5,
like
6?
Maybe a week.
Right? Under his belt. So I don't know. I'm curious to figure out how this is going to turn out, but I do have 2 contributions coming our way. Let me go ahead and get my first guy. AZ fan says Cardinals are going to cook on Sunday. Gotta believe. Love the optimism. Let me get to my guy BBH. He says, what do you guys think of Caleb pulling a Eli if we get the first overall? We're going to dive into this. I promise you. We're going to dive into all the people that are saying the Cardinals are tanking. Y'all, if you haven't heard the recent reports about Caleb Williams, we're going to dive into this here pretty soon, or at least a little later on in the stream. Promise that. Let's continue to talk about Joshua Dobbs. Now, I do believe that you did say a little earlier that we are going to be running a heavy scheme in terms of run, right?
I believe so.
Jonathan Gannon say that as well. What do you think is going to be the split for James Conner and Keontae Ingram? You think it's going to be 50-50, 60-40? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a lot of James Conner. Yeah. I think we are going to get a heavy dose of James Conner. This is probably going to be the most involved he's been in a long time. And he was involved a couple seasons ago. He had, 20 touchdowns? So the fact he's going to get a lot of carries as well. I don't know if he's going to be as involved in the pass game as he has been in past seasons, because we're not a pass-first team. I don't think so, at least at this point in time, especially not with the quarterback.
Yeah.
So
definitely not anymore.
I think we're going to get maybe like 75-80% James Conner, which is a lot of James Conner. That's also a bold prediction. I'm not in the facility, so I don't know for sure. But if I had to guess, I'd say at least like 75% James Conner.
I could see that, and then give him some time to rest, and then put in Keontae Ingram. I could definitely see that. I mean, I feel like that would be the smart play here for the Arizona Cardinals to do so. Now, during that same press conference, we heard JG come out and say, like, obviously the idea of being super secretive, right? There's some people that don't like it. Me and you, it seemed like we're kind of on the hand of like, yeah, let's keep the secret, because the Washington Commanders, on the other hand, they have a big storyline going their way with Terry McLaurin, their wide receiver. They don't know if he's going to be starting. Do you think he's going to be playing week 1?
I'm not sure, because from the Commander's standpoint, if he's not fully healthy, if he's like, let's say 85% of the way, right? Like, you're not going to go put him on the field if he's not fully healthy, especially against the Cardinals team that you don't even know if they're going to be good. They could be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So if you're going to rest him a game, this is probably going to be it. So it's all dependent. Like, if he's 85%, I don't think he's going. That's just me personally. But it is also Terry McLaurin we're talking about.
Right.
He is a dog. Terry McLaurin, if he is able to play, he's going to play. That's just who he is. So it's very tricky, because it's like, it's the perfect game to rest, but it's also Terry McLaurin. He wants to get on the field. So I don't know. It's honestly a toss up. What are you feeling about it?
Honestly, the day by day thing, I think he is going to. Even if they do limited reps, there's just so much unknown with Sam Howell. There's so much unknown with the Cardinals. Like we don't know, even as us as fans, right? We're all speculating in terms of what we feel like is going to happen here this coming Sunday. Like we're all hoping and praying that the Cardinals are going to come out with the win here. But I think that Ron Rivera, if Terry McLaurin can go, I think he's going to go, even if it's a limited fashion. I do think he's going to play because why not give Sam Howell one of the best wide receivers, right? I'm talking about like top 15, top 10, maybe top 15 wide receivers.
Top 12 for sure.
Top 12.
He's definitely
Yeah,
up
definitely.
there.
He's definitely a good wide receiver. So, man, any other thoughts with Josh Dobbs being the starter?
I'm not mad at the move. Like genuinely from like a team standpoint, like it's the best play in terms of winning football games. This is the best play. If you want to tank games, you're starting Clayton Tune. That's for sure. But I like the move. I really do. From a competitive standpoint and the fact that I want to win games as well and just throw the best product on the field, I like the move. Okay. That's just me personally, though. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but it's the best move in terms of winning. And obviously, if we're 0-2 by week 2, you throw Clayton Tune in there and see what he has.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm kind of curious with as well, because 12 days, and obviously he didn't practice every 12 days. But like, it's hard for me to wrap my mind to tell him like, this is what we're going to do, right? Like this is going to be our game plan moving forward. Now, granted, yes, the news came from Ian Rappaport, which usually he's right on it.
Ian is spot on.
Yeah, he's mostly spot on. And I get the idea that why would they even trade for him if they're not going to go ahead and start him? I get that. But man, 12 days now just got me a little bit more worried. For some reason, to me, I feel a little bit more confident with Clayton Tune. Call me crazy. I don't know why. I feel a little bit more confident with Clayton Tune. I don't think we're tanking regardless. I think JG is trying to put the best person available. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he's leaning very heavy on the connection with Clayton Tune. I'm sorry, Joshua Dobbs and Drew Petzing. I feel like he's leaning very, very heavy on that.
I understand that too. I mean, I don't remember what I was watching. I believe it was Twitter where I was just watching the throw mechanics and someone like spotted it out. And you can just tell the quickness of the release on Josh Dobbs compared to Clayton Tune. It takes a lot longer for Clayton Tune to get the ball out. Obviously, it's practice reps, so it's not like full speed anything, but you could just tell like Josh Dobbs' release is way cleaner. He's just more experienced. He has the NFL experience, so he's more technical. He's more sound. I think it's the right move in terms of winning football games.
Okay, I hope
it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. It can go either way. So, like, either way you're throwing it, it's not a bad option at the end of the day.
Here's the thing. I think it would be less relevant, right, if we are run heavy. If we're run heavy and we're only using Josh Dobbs for obviously the play action and, the occasional throwing the ball as well as, bootlegs and stuff like that, I do think that it could work. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. And we've heard very many things about him being a very, very smart, savvy kid that can, get this playbook down to a T really, really quickly. And obviously he has, right, with the report coming out.
Yeah, obviously 12 days in the system and he's starting. He's got to have it down to at least a certain point.
Yeah. Let's just see if he's going to be able to execute it. I guess that's the biggest thing out here. Is he going to be able to execute it? Let's talk about Cardinals versus Commanders. I feel like there's a lot of intrigue, more for Cardinal fans. Like I've have a lot of people that are other fans of other teams. They don't think this is as exciting as I do. Obviously, I'm a Cardinal fan, so I want to see what happens. What do you think this game is going to come out? Like, how do you think it's going to come out?
So I have two predictions. So it's either going one or two ways. Either this is going to be at halftime, like a 14-10 game either way, or it's going to come out with the Cardinals going 3-and-out on the first 5 drives, and we're going to be very disappointed like we have been in years past. That's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling like either we're going to get a competitive 14-10 game, Sam Howell comes in here struggling, and we're kind of just guiding through the game, and we're either up like 14-10, or it's going to be like a 21-6. And we're experiencing Cardinals football from years past where we've had like Ryan Lindley behind quarterback. Ooh. We've had that's a tough name to hear. Ryan Lindley, man.
Yeah,
we're going to get one of those seasons. Skeleton Kevin Cobb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I fear too. Like, I don't want to hear the excuse. Like if Dobbs goes out here and struggles, and he's going to, right? He's not going to
he's not going to come in here and light it up for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every game. Like the expectations, we gotta be at least level and kind of like know what we're getting ourselves into.
But that's the thing, though. Like, isn't there a level of being able to come out here and say that was this the right choice then, right? I mean, obviously it's going to depend on what happens this year, but if you're right, if it's 3 3-and-outs, 4 3-and-outs, like is this the right choice for Joshua Dobbs to come out here, or do we give the opportunity to Clayton Tune to come out? Like, I don't think Jonathan Gannon's going to pull him out. I doubt he would,
Yeah.
but like it's just going to bring more questions, aren't there? Like if he absolutely comes out here and lays an absolute goose egg, more
The
questions.
questions just continue to throw. And I mean, they're rightful questions at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And if he does pull him and we're struggling, like if the defense is doing their thing and we're stopping him and we're holding him to 3 and we're getting 3-and-outs, it might be time for a quarterback change, like mid-game. So I don't know if he'll do it. Like you said, I really don't. I think they'll ride out with Josh Dobbs till the end because unless he's like struggling and like
Yeah.
cannot get a single completion, I think he's going to stay in the entire game. But who knows? That is definitely a possibility as a quarterback change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's take a look here at the report here from Ian Rappaport again. That last sentence, they'll evaluate the situation each week, but this is how it begins. Now, obviously, a lot of unknown, right? A lot of kind of murkiness up in the air for the Cardinals pertaining to the quarterback. And it's crazy that we're living in a situation right now where it's like Joshua Dobbs or Clayton Tune, right? Like
Right.
it sucks. Like we would
After
rather
having Kyler Murray as your quarterback and having him on the roster and just facing the situation where you were 7-0 a couple years ago and now you're quarterback controversy of backups.
Yeah, exactly.
It hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. It absolutely does. But I guess it does leave a little intrigue here, a little meat on the bone for Cardinal fans to kind of see how Joshua Dobbs is going to do. I hope nothing but the best for him. I hope he's successful because obviously when he's successful, the Cardinals are successful. But we'll have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out. Any last thoughts? I want to get into a couple different things that multiple people have been messaging on my comments that I wanted to get to, and that's Kyler Murray's contract, as well as Caleb Williams and that news that came out today about him possibly sitting a year.
Let's dive into the Kyler and Caleb situation again. That's going to be fun.
Okay. So now let me give you guys a little bit of background, right? The reason why we're doing this, and it's not for me to say we have an out for Kyler, right? Like to me right now, I think Kyler Murray's got a lot to prove, but I do feel like Kyler Murray deserves another opportunity. So the reason why I'm showing this tweet is for more education more than anything. But this tweet was kind of thrown out there, I believe about 3 or 4 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically like breaking down a way that the Arizona Cardinals might be able to help themselves or a way that they might be crap out of luck, right? So let's read into it here. The report says this. It says the Cardinals would owe quarterback Kyler Murray $37 million in 2024, $29 million in 2025, and $26 million in 2026 in injury guarantees if he can't pass a physical before March, per Mike Florio. Now, please keep in mind before I keep reading, this is under the understanding that Kyler Murray plays this year and he gets hurt, right? So this is put out there. So let's continue. Florio suggested that the Cardinals might keep Murray on the PUP list throughout the 2023 season to avoid him getting hurt again, which could prevent him from passing that physical. The Raiders did something similar late last year with Derek Carr, and the Colts did the same with Matt Ryan on the initial benching. If the team thinks they'll get a high pick in 2024 and might take a QB, this might be the move they'll make in order for move off of Murray, essentially. So what is your take on this? Now, obviously yesterday with the Cardinals naming Kyler Murray a captain, I don't think this is going to be really relevant, but what are your thoughts on, I guess, all the people out there that are saying sit Kyler Murray because we don't want him to get injured?
I'm glad you brought up the captain thing because that kind of just debunks it, like off the rip. Like if they, especially within the organization, the players name the captains. So the players aren't naming a guy who's not playing on the field a captain. If one, he's not a leader, and 2, he's not one of the best football players on that field. That's just what it is. You're not getting named a captain if they don't see a long-term future with you. And I think that just kind of debunks everything off the rip. But you're going to have the rumors that fly around all season, all season. We're going to lose games. People are going to throw the Caleb Williams thing out there. He has 9 touchdowns in 2 games. We're going to hear all about it. Even if Kyler Murray's balling out, we're going to hear it all season long. But personally, I just think Kyler's the guy. Like, I really do. Like, within the organization standpoint, too, I think they believe in Kyler just as much as we do. But obviously, he does have stuff to prove because he did come off an ACL tear, and you do have to, honestly, you have to come in here with a non-biased standpoint and be like, okay, we haven't seen you in a year. You're coming off an ACL injury. What can you do for us now? It's not what did you do for us then? It's what can you do for us going forward. So we're going to have to see. He's going to have to prove himself, but I think he's got it. I really do. And the organization clearly believes in him. Him getting named the captain, I think, debunks that whole thing.
I agree. We just got breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, just FYI, breaking news here. Terry McLaurin plans to play week 1.
Okay, there it is.
Breaking news. Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Commanders, will be playing or plans to play week 1 for the Commanders. So hopefully
Shake things up a little bit.
Yeah.
They got their best
absolutely.
player.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give a shout out here to my guy, Ethan. 2020 Eagles vibes for real right now. I'm assuming he's talking about Jalen Hurts, right? Drafting him and having Wentz on the roster. Before we dive into that, because Caleb Williams is going to be a talking point we're going to dive into here shortly, but let me get my take in here with the whole Kyler Murray. Absolutely. Debunking is the best word, honestly. And I remember reading a comment saying like, oh, it wasn't rumors. It was just people kind of insinuating. But that's the thing. Like when people insinuate things like this, right? Like this is very educational and I'm so glad that it's out there. But for some reason, we got some fans that put this in their mind and they're like, well, this is the plan. This is the way to go.
It just becomes gospel.
Yeah. It becomes like, yeah, gospel. It absolutely does for some fans. And most of those fans, they already have Kyler Murray walking. They don't want him. He's not even.
He's just long gone. They're already looking to next year, and they're looking at Caleb Williams in a Cardinals jersey.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the biggest problems when this tweet came out. Because yes, I look at this and I'm like, oh, that's very educational. Like that's a good read. Okay, cool. That's good to know. But my mind doesn't go sit him. We're done for the year. My mind is okay. Well, let's get this man. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. You know, we got a new piece in the draft. Hopefully, he does well. And let's see if we can win some games this year. No, we got people do the whole completely 180. And that's kind of where I guess where we are as Cardinal fans right now, right? I could honestly say probably 60% is on board with Kyler Murray. But yeah. I could say a solid 35 to 40% because I see it in my comments on Twitter, on Instagram every single day. Fans are giving up on Kyler Murray already. And I'm not saying you're wrong to do so. I just, you know, you guys have an opinion. So do we. I mean, can we be entitled to ours?
Exactly.
So here's the situation. Yes, I know there is risk if Kyler Murray plays. I get it, right? The risk is as it says beautifully on this. It's there, but that's football. Like that's what these players do. They're out here to play football and to be scared. It just feels like an approach that I hope the Cardinals don't take. Absolutely. Now, if Kyler Murray isn't ready, then okay, don't play him.
Different story.
Yeah, different story. But if he's ready to go and he's 100% and he can be as elusive as he can, let's see how many games we can win. Exactly. Am I wrong? What are your thoughts?
No, because if Kyler's 100% healthy, you got to put the best product on that field. You got to show people Arizona, one, is a place that you can come play in. You got to build a culture. You got to get your leadership intact. Yeah. People, like, I get it. People are calling Jonathan Gannon goofy. They're comparing him to Nick Sirianni with the whole we want killers thing. Like, I'm seeing it float. Like, I've watched everything. It's so funny. But, like, at the same time, we're not in the locker room. We don't know about the culture. But if Kyler is there and he is fully healthy, you throw him on that field, you see what he's got, especially if he's 100%. Because first of all, he's got to shake the rust off too. So when he does come back, we got to understand he hasn't played football in 8 months. Coming off an ACL tear, we got to let him get comfortable, let him get the knee. He's got to take a couple hits. Coming off a big knee injury, you got to let him take hits. You got to let him like adapt a little bit, give him like 2 games, and then the proper evaluation starts. So as soon as he's healthy, we throw him into the fire. That's what I think.
But that's the thing
games we can run off.
What is your fear of? I guess it's not really fear. There is risk with playing Kyler Murray, right? Every year he's been hurt. Every year he's been hurt. I mean, I don't think he's missed a game every year, but he's been hurt, right? Whether it's
missing a couple games, like even if it's just 2 to 3, he's missing games every season.
Right, and that is a concern. But right now, the way the NFL looks at Kyler Murray, I don't think the value is there. Right? In terms of what people might think that Kyler Murray might go for, I don't know. I guess right now what I'm trying to wrestle in my mind is I don't understand the people that want to get rid of him, but they don't want him to play. Right now, Kyler Murray's value isn't high. You know what I mean?
Right. So if we were to trade him, if they just go off the tape from last season, we're not getting much back, especially with that contract. We have to unload that contract. We do. So you got to understand that. That is a fat contract to just throw away. Not a lot of teams even have that cap space. So first of all, you're going to have to go to a team. Let's just say, like, what team could even trade for Kyler? Like the Falcons? I don't even know. Like, what team is going to take on Kyler right now? Like, what team legitimately is in prime position to take him? There's not many. Most teams either have a young quarterback, they have a veteran, or someone they're looking to build on. There's not many teams out there.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And that's not saying that we were trying to get rid of, right? Like me and Mitchell,
absolutely.
we're on the same boat. But it's just I don't get it. Like football, it's about obviously valuing and what they do the year before. And Kyler didn't look that great because obviously the injury and what happened in Cliff Kingsbury. And let's just note this one more time. Why is this put all on Kyler? Right? Cliff Kingsbury was a terrible head coach.
The play calling was atrocious.
Bad. Screen. Like, why are we putting this all on Kyler? There has to be some sort of fault to the guy that we fired. The two guys that we fired that didn't really put the people that
talent around him. Didn't put talent around him. Like, you guys see it with the new coaching staff and the new regime. They are getting rid of all Steve Keim players. Everyone that Steve Keim drafted, they're gone. They're in the process of moving all of them away. Like, Rashard Lawrence is one of the biggest examples this offseason. People thought he was a roster lot. People thought he was going to start. He's gone. Yeah. He has no attachment to anybody. So when you don't have the talent around you and you have college play coaching, you're only set up for how much success. And we saw it even with college play coaching. We were 7-0 at one point. Like, we have talent somewhat. We have somewhat talent. We can't hit in draft picks, which has been very unfortunate. But we have players. We have things. We just got to see what a new coaching staff, new regime, new system where we're not predictable. That's another thing. The predictability has been crazy with this team.
Oh, yeah. With Cliff's what you're saying, right?
And there's no adjustments. Yeah. With Cliff, there's no adjustments at halftime. Like, even if we're down 14-10, we are like 14-3 or something, and it's not working at all, we'll come out in the second half and we would run the same things.
Same exact things. Yeah. If the pressure was too much, there was no adjustment to try to protect our quarterback. It was just like, go back out there and shotgun and work your magic.
Just go make the play. Like, they're just go be Russell Wilson. Literally just go evade 50 tackles and bomb the ball 40 yards down the field and just make plays.
And I think that's kind of where we see it differently compared to, and I'm not saying we're right and the people are wrong, but that's kind of the way we see it, right? Where Kyler Murray does deserve a fair chance. We gave Cliff Kingsbury 4 years for some god reason.
And we gave Keim 10 plus.
Right. We got to give Kyler at least one more to see what he's going to look like with this new team. And tanking it's not going to happen. For the people out there that want Caleb Williams, and we're going to segue into that here pretty soon. It's Kyler Murray's the guy right now.
Yes.
Things can change midway. We might be singing a different tune, but I mean, as of right now, Kyler's the guy. Is that correct for you?
That is correct. That is very correct. Kyler's definitely the guy, at least this season going forward. So even after the first 4 games, we're going to have to admit that Kyler Murray is going to be the quarterback. We're going to have to realize that he's going to come back and play.
Oh, yeah. If Kyler Murray is struggling, he's still going to be QB1 over Dobbs
for the rest of the season.
It's what it is.
It's evaluation at that point. You got to see what he's got.
Yeah. They got to figure out to see what he's got. You're 100% correct. And for the future too. Is this the quarterback that they want? Right. That's another thing. How is he going to be able to adapt to these new, coaches? These guys don't want to get yelled at like Cliff Kingsbury got yelled at. You know what I mean? In national TV. So they're going to have to adjust and see how he's going to, work with them and see how the adversity hits. We'll see. All right. Any last thoughts on Kyler Murray before we jump into what everybody is talking about, Caleb Williams?
I think we're good. I think we should hop right into Caleb Williams talks.
Okay. So we acknowledge that Caleb Williams looks really freaking good. We acknowledge that. We're not psychopaths, right? We know
9 touchdowns in 2 games. Like you can't look at that as a football fan and not realize that is just chef's kiss. That is amazing.
100% agree. Now, there was something that came out today that I want you guys to be fully aware. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. This came out here from Pro Football Talk, and it says this: Caleb Williams is willing to stay in school if he doesn't want to play for the team with the first pick in the draft. He needs to realize he has more potential control over the process than that. Now, I did see something, and I tried my best to try to find it, but there was also comments from his dad, I feel like, that came out as well about the same situation. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like, I don't know. Because if he doesn't want to play here, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have a choice because we can still take you and then just ship you off for a bunch of picks if that's the route they decide to go. I really don't think it is, but Caleb does control everything here because he could stay. I don't think he will personally. I really don't. That's a lot of money that you're giving up.
Oh, yeah.
Just potential risk of injury going into another year of college when you don't need to, and you're basically a lock for the number 1 pick. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just kind of like a threat, like, okay, listen, don't tank for me because I control this. But in the end of the day, you do technically control it, but it just hurts his future over time. I don't think it's going to happen personally. Like the option is there, but I think it's more of like a threat. Like, listen, we can go pull an Eli Manning. We don't have to play for you guys. We can just straight up control the narrative, which technically they can for now until, let's say, we have the number 1 overall pick. Then we can just select you and then it'll be awkward. You can hold out if you want, but I mean,
I hope we're not in that situation.
I really don't either because it's just a big mess. Like, even if we do control the first pick, that is a lot of picks we are going to get back. And people don't realize that as well.
Yeah, let's put a pin in here real quick. We got another breaking news, my guy. Another breaking news. Now, not for the Cardinals, for our NFC opponent over there. The San Francisco 49ers just dropped some breaking news here. We are hoping that Nick Bosa was going to hold out, but no, Ian Rappaport has come out and said this. The 49ers and all-pro edge, Nick Bosa has agreed to terms on a massive contract extension with the reigning defensive player of the year, becoming the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL. Bosa's holdout is over as he gets 5 years, $170 million.
Ooh.
Instant reaction, go.
That money, man. Whoa. 170.
Damn.
And the Niners are already one of the teams that have like the highest pay. I believe they have like 8 players that make like 180 million or something of like almost all their cap. Like, now they just add Nick Bosa onto that. You definitely got to lock him up. One of the best defensive players in the league, one defensive player for a reason. But that price tag is ridiculous. 170. Is that the highest non-quarterback contract of all time, or is this just?
I think it might be. I think, yeah. I mean, it says pass rusher. I'm curious to figure. I know Aaron Donald's the highest like interior defensive line. I'm curious to kind of figure that out. But in terms of like edge rusher, I think that's it right there. I think that's the highest he's got.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, that's
170. It just, for a non-quarterback, is an insane price tag.
I'm gonna do some
well-deserved.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, as a Cardinal fan, it sucks.
It sucks. I would have loved to see him somewhere else. Anywhere but this division would be nice.
Bro, that's $34 million a year.
Wow.
That might be more than Aaron Donald.
I'm not sure because I believe Chris Jones makes 27 is what the price tag is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I believe so. I think Chris Jones is making 27. He didn't get paid yet, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw the number 27 float around with his contract.
Yeah, this one here is averaging about 34 a year. Whoa. Wow. See what the comments are saying here. I mean, good for Nick, defensive player. There's people in the chat seem to be pretty happy for Nick Bosa. I mean, as a Cardinal fan, it sucks, but we can definitely recognize that this man's a baller. He's a great player. Do you feel a little, I guess, any sort of way? Because obviously Nick Bosa was one of
number 2 pick.
Yeah. You feel any sort of way? Be honest here.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm so torn. It's
fair.
I don't want to rock with Josh Rosen for those years. I think it's the right pick in the moment, but Nick Bosa just, I feel like those are the 2 players that it was like super obvious. Like, it's these 2 people. I thought they were going to be the best, like unanimous 1 and 2, and they fell 1 and 2. I got to look back in the draft class and like confirm that that's still accurate. But man, it hurts. It does hurt because because you don't want to rock with Josh Rosen for those years.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing too. Like, we all live in the world of hindsight, right? What if scenarios? Like, if they did rock with Josh Rosen, do you know those other quarterbacks that the Cardinals? We're not gonna dive into that. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. We're not gonna dive into it. I get it, but like, dang, like possibilities were still out there. It's just it depends on who you're gonna hit. All right, let me get to my contribution here real quick, and then we're going to go back into the Caleb Williams. I apologize. We just got breaking news, but let me get to my guy, Deus. He says, Caleb is generational talent like Chase Young. Meh. Overrated. You and Mythic work with great chemistry. Keep up the great work. Go Cards. Go Tune. Thank you. Appreciate it. What are
Appreciate
your
you.
thoughts on, I guess, the generational talent tag on Caleb? Do you think he is?
I think so. I really do. I think Caleb Williams is definitely proving himself. I mean, 9 touchdowns in 2 games, really. That is actual generational, in my opinion. Like, I get the Chase Young thing too, because Chase
Yeah.
Young came out as a generational talent, one of the fastest edge rushers, just this generational talent, like he said. But it's hard to look at Caleb Williams and not be like, dang, this
Yeah.
man has it all. He
But-
has it all.
Facts. Yeah, no, I agree. I know that generational talent tag, and you told me before that as well, Deus, that you don't kind of buy into the
Caleb Williams side.
yeah, well, just the tag of the generational talent very much, and I do think Caleb Williams is good, great, good. I mean, I don't know what you want to call him. He's definitely a solid, intriguing quarterback, for sure.
Speaking
Now,
of intriguing quarterbacks, I know this is like way off topic, but what do you think about Deion Sanders' son?
oh, bro, that man went off.
500 yard. Did you hear the story about it?
No,
How he went on like a college like recruit whatever, and they just completely ignored him. And this was the team that like completely ignored him, like the OC or the head coach, one of the two, like completely ignored him. He like wanted this like bad, and he comes out for what 510 yards and like 4 touchdowns or something. Like, I don't know.
that's
He is
crazy.
insane too, because like watching him, even at Jackson State, like he impressed me. And the fact that he's doing it on this level too,
And it's
he's
so
making
cool
his
too,
way
like,
up too.
yeah, with Deion Sanders as your dad and the coach, like it's such a cool story. Like I remember tuning into it, playing TCU, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be an interesting game." Obviously, I wasn't like sitting down watching it, but I was obviously looking at the TV every once in a while and doing my thing. And this man went off. I'm curious to figure out he's gonna keep consistently doing that all year, and if he is, shoot, are we talking about more quarterbacks being
That's what
drafted?
I'm saying. Are we going to hear about him too, or is it going to be the Caleb Williams Sanders show? Like,
Right in May.
yeah,
Yeah, Drake May. I mean, he's also another
Drake May
intriguing.
too. One of the people are saying is one of the best quarterback prospects of all time too. Like, I'm hearing a lot, and it's what does he play? North Carolina.
Yeah, I believe
Drake
it is.
May?
Yeah.
Yeah, even my friend was hyping him up. He's a big NC fan, and he's like, "Bro, Drake May, man, watch out." Because I'm not like the biggest college fan.
Right.
Like, I'll tune in, but he's like, "You got to watch out for Drake May," and he's like, "Oh, the Cardinals might take him." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
You're like, stop
we
it.
can't get away from any quarterback. So I mean, why not throw Sanders in the mix too? While we're at
Right.
it?
True. Man, this offseason is gonna be wild. Let's give it that. The Cardinals offseason is gonna be wild. 2 first-round picks.
Absolutely.
Let me get to my guy BBH. He says, "Be honest. Should we have drafted Bosa or K1?" You can opt out of this. I'll answer if you want to opt out. That's fine.
I'll have you go first. I'll answer it, but I'll have you go first.
Oh, it's so hard. I think so. It's hindsight. It's different, right? Like when you're speaking now, it would be such a tough situation because like where we are at right now with no quarterback or Kyler Murray coming back a little later on, I think it would be easy to say yes, but I do like what Kyler Murray has done for this organization and kind of put us on the map.
Yeah.
So long term, I would say no. I would still rock with Kyler Murray. I just hope we had a shorter leash for Cliff, truly, because there's just so much unknown. Like, I get where the people are coming from. Where like Kyler Murray had 4 years, right? 1 playoff appearance and he got beat. I get it. I understand where people are coming from, but we put ourselves in this situation as Cardinal fans by allowing Cliff Kingsbury 1 more year because we bought into the Kool-Aid that we made it to the playoffs, right?
Mhm.
I truly feel like if we got rid of him there, we would have a better understanding of if Kyler Murray is our franchise quarterback heading into this year. But now we don't have that. We all are saying things like Cliff Kingsbury was terrible, which he was. He didn't know how to adjust, right? We're all kind of looking at it that way. Now, am I going to fall on my flat on my face next year and say Kyler Murray's not my guy? I don't know, right? We'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out. But that's why I feel like it's very important to see what he's going to do this year because he needs to prove a lot. So I would say no right now for this. I'm glad we got K1 because I don't know. I like what he does and what he can become.
What he can bring to the game. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Hindsight in 2023. I mean, obviously you can see that Nick Bosa is one of the best defensive players in the league. And Kyler Murray not playing. So obviously the Nick Bosa, he's up here compared to Kyler right here in 2023. But in hindsight for this organization, you saw what Josh Rosen did. You saw him in practice. All these people evaluated him. It was the right move back then. I think we can all say that. And what Kyler Murray's done for us, the fact that he's legitimately put us on the map, like you said, it has been super beneficial because we were literally a complete dumpster fire, one of the worst teams in football. We're not 3-13 for a reason.
Yeah.
Or we are 3-13 for a reason. So you got to understand that. And Kyler Murray is a way better prospect than Josh Rosen will ever be. There's a reason he's getting cut from practice squads, guys.
Right.
So in hindsight, it is the right move. And I still think to this day, it's the right move. That could be very controversial because we know what Nick Bosa is now. And we saw the contract he just got. He got that for a reason, but I still think it was the right move.
Yeah. No, I agree. My guy BBH is just drilling in it. You could have gone Joe Burrow the next bro. All right, let's move on. We get it. We acknowledge that there was some really good quarterbacks that came out after. It's just, I mean, there's gonna be good quarterbacks if this doesn't work out, right? But we have to play it out. We have to play it out. We have to wait to see what it goes. That's the number one thing. I guess my big takeaway is we got to play it out. We got to see how this all works out. But let's continue to talk about this this whole situation with him possibly holding out, if you don't mind. I know we put a pin in it because of the breaking news, but Caleb Williams, right? The report or what his dad said, he said, she said, whatever. But the idea of Caleb Williams maybe not even wanting to play for the Cardinals or whoever has that first overall pick, because the way that they explained it or the way that his dad explained it is it's the truth, right? The number one prospect or the most intriguing quarterback usually goes to the team that has the worst record, right? The worst organization for the year prior, right? Now, the Cardinals haven't had the best of reputations when it comes down to being functional, but I mean, I understand where it comes from, where he wants to be in a good organization, right? But that doesn't mean the following year, when you do decide to come out, is going to be better. Like you're betting on the idea that, okay, the Cardinals might not be it. Okay. But what if next year you get some other dumpster fire? What if the Cleveland Browns or I don't know, some other organization that's out there that wants the number one overall pick? So like, that's why I do not want the tanking thing. If the Cardinals lose because we're just terrible and our roster just couldn't hold up, then, I mean, yes, like I said earlier, last time, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be, crying. But in the end of the day, we tried, right? We tried our best. It's like that one Little Giants. Have you seen Little Giants, that one movie?
I don't think so.
An older movie. Okay, well, it's like basically like an underdog story where like this Pee Wee football team's playing like this really, really good Pee Wee football team. And they celebrate the idea of like getting a yard or getting a touchdown because it happened super late into the game. But like that's going to be maybe what the Cardinals are going to be. If not, we'll see. I just want to be surprised, man. Just give me week 1 already. Like
right. Like I want to know the expectations. Like obviously time's going to tell. It's hard to make judgment now. It really is. We're just kind of we're blindly going into it, not knowing how Kyler's rehab's going, how he's going to look. We're just kind of baseless assumptions. That's all it is on both sides. Yeah. Like genuinely, we're just I wouldn't say, well, I'm biased because I'm not going to say we're not like entirely baseless because we saw what Kyler had. But again, he is coming off an ACL tear, so we can't evaluate him fully of what he's done in the prior. We got to see what he's got going forward. So, and I thought it was kind of funny too with Caleb Williams' dad coming out and he's like talking about like, I don't understand why the worst team, it just doesn't make sense for my quarterback, my son, to go to the worst situation just because he's the number one pick. Like that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it's always worked in the NBA, the MLB, or I don't know about the MLB. I'm not sure. I'm not a big baseball fan. I know you are. I'm pretty sure it's how it works in MLB too. It's how it works in NFL. Yeah. That's how it always works. Yeah. It's the worst team gets the best pick. Like
exactly to help them.
Exactly. Because you as like if you're running the NFL, you don't want 10 teams to be completely useless, bringing in no revenue.
Exactly.
So that's how you get players and how you get people attracted to a team is you bring in new talent, you bring in the best talent. Like that's how it works.
Yeah. And the idea too of like, obviously we're from Arizona, so we know who we are, right? We're usually a smaller market pertaining to cheap owners, right? And that comes from baseball. That's Bidwell, and that's Matt Ishabelle is great so far.
Starver.
Yeah. What Starver used to be. Exactly. So that's why they set it up like that. So where they get a chance, right? Because if you're trying to compete with these LA markets, man, those guys got some money, bro, to drop. And if that's the case, It's going to be like baseball, where the Dodgers are always in contention because they
And
have
the
a rich owner
Yankees.
compared to our Diamondbacks guy, where we're just trying to kind of grow up from the ground up. So it's set up to be differently. Now, yes, there is a way to manipulate the cap, and I do believe the cap is a myth because you can always front load.
Always just push it back by
Oh, yeah.
8 years. Taysom
You can
Hill's
always do it.
contract, and just shove all that money to the back.
Exactly. But it is going to depend on that owner, right, to do something
Yeah.
like that. So there's a cap for a reason, and that's just the way it is. That Caleb Williams is not going to change the way the draft is going to do. Now, is he going to come out? I still think he is going to. Is he going to take a second glance to see who's going to be that first overall pick? Yeah, probably. But I still do think he's going to come out this year because you have to kind of hype up a quarterbacks. Like, this is the year. What's next? Next year, you don't have that great of quarterbacks. And yes, he probably will be the first overall picks. But like the thought of 3 possible great quarterbacks coming out, I think you'll want to be more in that storyline than next year. Personally, I don't know. What do you think?
And the money. The money's going to talk to you. Like the NIL deals, they can only get you so far. When you sign that NFL contract and you get that like $26 million signing bonus and you can just pay for everything, it's going to hit different. From a person perspective, it's going to hit different.
Absolutely.
So I think you're going to look at that no matter what the team is and realize you can get paid. You can come into the NFL next season. You're going to do it. I think it's all threats. Like genuine. I think it's just all like fake smoke.
I agree, honestly, because you're right. When it comes down to the difference between the money, it's night and day difference, honestly. Yeah. And if he does pull back in the Cardinals on the first overall ball, I'm gonna be pissed off as hell. Dude.
Yeah, dude, because even if we don't take Caleb Williams, just the fact that he is in the draft and someone can go trade up for the number 1 pick,
exactly,
we are going to get a haul. And if we are not bad next season, and Kyler, say he's our quarterback, and we have like 6 wins, and we don't even have a top 5 pick. It's going to suck because all those draft picks that we can get, the 49ers traded 4 first-round draft picks to move up for Trey Lance. Imagine what we are going to get for Caleb Williams for the number 1 overall pick.
And that's what I'm saying too, because you're 100% right. Even if we don't go that route where we're like, okay, Kyler Murray's a guy, right? Like, let's just say we live in that world where Kyler Murray, yes, he struggled, but we still suck, right?
Yeah.
That number 1 overall pick, bro. Oh my God. That's just wild.
So if he decides, just like, you know what, the Cardinals got the first pick, I'm going back to college. I'm gonna be so heated, like super heated, and I feel like that's rightfully so.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone from the Cardinals fan base, even if he doesn't declare, for the people who want him, for the people who don't want him, we are all going to be upset for justified reasons. We can all unite in that.
Exactly. Let me get to these few contributions that are piling up here. We got my guy Dea says when K1 gets back, he will shock us all. Bootlegs, play actions, and from under center. Yeah, he's going to prove everyone wrong. Hashtag K1 comeback, go Cards. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people that are really kind of thinking of it is that I don't think K1 needs to be a superhero in this offense. If we're really leaning on the run, Kyler Murray just needs to make those perfect 1 or 2 throws, or not 1 or 2, but you know what I mean? Like those crucial
big plays that come throughout the game. You got to make the big plays. You got to make every play that comes to you. You got to make the right read. You just got to play smart. Especially, I am so excited for him to be under center.
Me too. Oh, me too.
We have not seen him under center. I feel like he's going to take a huge step. He's already good. I feel like he's going to take a huge step with a run game established. We don't have that. We've never had that.
Yeah.
Like a just solid run game where it's like, okay, we're going for 4 or 5 yards a pop and we're just consistent running it. We're going to see a huge change. I am so hyped to see Kyler getting more plays, getting bootlegs. I feel like it's going to fit him a lot as well.
I agree. And running the damn ball north, man. Instead of these freaking bounce outs.
Stupid lateral plays.
Laterals, dude.
Like screen passes. Like
so annoying.
3rd and 14, screen pass. 2nd and 10, screen pass. 1st and 10, screen pass. 4th and 30, screen pass.
Bro, you're like, F it, it's the game. Screen
like,
pass.
Cliff, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and hold on. Okay, a narrative just came in my head as well. Speaking of Caleb Williams, Cliff is the OC for USC, right?
Yeah.
And these rumors are coming out just now. So I wonder if Cliff is sitting here like, listen, the Cardinals, not a good organization at all. Super dysfunctional. He could be, like, genuinely, because OC and quarterback typically really close. So
yeah, especially in college.
He could be downpouring the entire organization. Like, listen, this is what goes on. the owner, you're not going to want to play for him. He does this and this and this, and the organization is this. You're gonna have to pay for your meals, like
right? Yeah, true. Well, at least he doesn't get locked out like Chandler Jones got locked out of the
right. That was crazy. And then your coach comes out the next day and is like, "Yeah, it's a private thing."
Yeah,
Like, bro, you
exactly.
could just come out and be like, "Yo, we handled it.
Come on,
We got him in."
we're
No,
better
it's a
than the Raiders
private
right
thing.
now. Okay,
Like,
give us that.
absolutely. Like, you lock your own player out, and then he texts and tries to get in the facility, and they're just treating him like he's just
Wild.
cheeks. Like,
Wild, dude. Wild. Let me
what
continue
the
these
heck?
contributions. CBH says the only way we can change this narrative is if we get the number 1 overall pick and we were competitive. Just either keep K1 and get Harrison or get rid of K1 for Caleb. Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, well, I think all of us are on board with Marvin Harrison Jr., right? We got 2 first
Absolutely.
picks. We got the Texans pick. We're all hoping that they're cheeks, right? We're all hoping they're dog water this year. So hopefully we get
Correct.
2 top 10 picks, hopefully 2 top 5 picks, but we'll have to kind of wait to see how bad they are. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be crazy, man.
Right. And Hollywood is up for a contract this year.
Honestly, with Hollywood, dude, I guess it just depends what happens. If he can't stay
Yeah.
healthy this year, Hollywood might not be back.
And if we're in a run heavy scheme too, having a 5'9" receiver
Yep.
pass or run blocking all game, like it might not be in the plans. It might just not be a system fit at that time. Even with the connection with him and Kyler, it might not be there. And it kind of sucks passing up on all these receivers too, like CeeDee
Right.
Lamb. That hurt.
Oh,
That's the player I wanted, like heavily.
too.
Like it was easy.
Oh, me
Kyler
too.
came out, they had the connection, and it's like,
Me
okay,
too.
that's the obvious pick. You watch the film, clearly he has the potential to be an elite receiver. Same thing with Marvin Harrison. It's the same thing. Can't pass up on it 2 times in a row because we could have had our 2 wideouts as well. It's just the land of what ifs. But I don't think Marvin Harrison's someone we can pass up on, man. And then Hollywood coming up for a contract too, it fits it. And if Michael Wilson takes that step, we got a nice little core. Greg Dortch as well, Rondale Moore. Like we got a nice little bunch.
I like Greg Dortch. I feel like he's really underrated, and I feel like
do too.
because he was an undrafted player / journeyman, like people don't really give him a lot of looks. But man, I would honestly give me Greg Dortch in the slot right now. I would take that. Like that man.
You know he kind of reminds me, not play style, but like just like in terms of like what he brings to the Cardinals, is Trent Sherfield. Like the impact, like he comes in, he's gonna make plays. It's kind of like the same. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he went to San Fran, and then I haven't heard from him since.
Just dropped off. I'll look it up.
So like it's just like impact plays. You know what I'm talking about? Like when he comes in the game, he's gonna come make plays, and that's what we saw from him. People wanted him to get more playing time. I feel like we're really underutilizing Greg Dortch.
Yeah. 100% agree.
He gets open. Like the guy gets open. He creates separation, and he can catch the ball. And it was at one point where we were comparing him or Andy Isabella. Like, come on. Greg Dortch needs to get utilized more. I don't know how. I don't know if he will, because it is a loaded wide receiver corps. He might be the wide receiver 4. Yeah. But somehow, some way, we need to get him utilized this season.
Oh, yeah.
At least a little bit.
I agree. 100% agree. All right, let me get to my guy with the contribution, AZ fan. He says K1 was given the captain patch by JG. When he comes back and goes off this season, we true Cardinal fans do not want to hear, we believe in K1 the whole time. K1 is coming back with vengeance.
And you got to drop it right now. Who are you rocking with in the comments right now? Are you rocking with K1 or do you want Caleb? So when we come back to this, we can see this little comment that popped up. We can go down and we can see if you were team K1 or you're team Caleb. So
yeah, I agree. That's a fantastic idea.
Drop that comment.
Or K1 right now in the chat here below. Now, honestly, I think when we're kind of coming down to it here, like obviously being, on YouTube and, giving your opinion, we just need to see. We need to find out what happens this year. I do believe that Kyler Murray is going to be turning it around. Hopefully, fingers crossed, but anything can change. We said this on the last stream that we were on. We got no allegiance to anybody, dude.
Right?
Nobody.
No connections. There's no ties with anybody. Like you're not playing ball how they want you to play ball, out the door. They don't care. They're building a culture. Yeah. Isaiah Simmons got shipped off for a 7th round pick. They are building culture. Even if it came down to him being like lazy or whatever it comes down to, he wasn't a fit. He's gone. As many of us wanted to keep him around, he's no longer here. So there's no attachment. And if a player like him can get shipped out for a 7th, they have no ties to anybody. So everything is on the table. Even if we have that connection with K1 and we really believe that he can come back, who knows, man? We don't know. Only time tells.
A couple other things that kind of dropped here. Man, I just love Twitter, man. A couple things. Sean McVay says that wide receiver Cooper Kupp is out for Sunday. Hamstring issues. So they're going to be dealing without him. Now, there is an injury report for the Cardinals. Staying with the Cardinals, it looks like Marquise Hollywood-Brown is limited, as well as Kelvin Beachum. Zach Ertz is limited, and then Dennis Gardeck is full. So I think the two big ones that we have to worry about is Zach Ertz still being limited, and then Marquise Hollywood-Brown is limited as well with the hamstring.
Is this his first time popping up?
Hollywood? Yeah. Hollywood, yeah.
Obviously, we knew Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is obviously coming off ACL tear. If he doesn't play, I'm not going to – no one's really shocked there.
Right.
Week 2, I think we'll see him. But week 1, if he doesn't play, that's perfectly understandable. And we also have Trey McBride, so we're fine. But Hollywood being on there in a contract year, being out week 1 potentially, unlimited reps potentially, that's not a good look. Yeah. It's just not.
Damn.
That sucks. It really does, because that is – clear number 1 receiver.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to suck if he's not playing, because Josh Dobbs' game is just going to get a lot harder. It's going to get a lot harder, because
we're going to be dealing with Michael Wilson, which we got
Greg Dortch and Rondale Moore. I mean, it's not like a bad bunch, but there's no clear number 1. There's no clear X. So you don't have that. You don't have that guy. And when you have people to take off pressure, like Hollywood, even with D-Hop out last season, he was getting him. He was doing him. He was getting 80 yards, 90 yards. I believe he got hurt in Carolina. Is that the game against the Panthers on like the left sideline or wherever he came down funky? He was putting up numbers. So it's going to suck if he's not able to go, and you're going to lose a weapon like him. But
I 100% agree. It's going to be a lot harder for Dobbs to make an impact for sure. Continuing to stay with Cooper Kupp, there's a possibility he might be moved to IR. That's how bad it is.
They still can't figure it out?
Yeah. So there was a tweet here that says that he's listed as out and ruled out, but there's also another tweet saying that there's a possibility that Kupp might be placed on IR and not just miss 1 week, but miss more than just this week 1 for the Rams. Dude, the Rams, I'm not convinced with the Rams this year. How do you feel about the Rams before we shut down?
I'm not convinced. And we just made a predictions too, and we kind of talked about the Rams, and we kind of talked about Cooper Kupp a little bit. I'm not convinced whatsoever. I think they're going to be right here at the bottom with us. I think we're all going to either none of us and the Rams, if either of us get over 6 wins, I could see 6 as a cap. If either of us get over 6 wins, I'm going to be so shocked.
Yeah.
There's I just can't see the talent on these rosters.
I agree.
I also don't believe in Matthew Stafford anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Tank.
Honestly, I think it's in their best interest. There's no talent there. Jalen Ramsey's gone.
Yeah.
Right? Aaron Donald's still there. For how much longer? He's throwing retirement up there. He's been rumoring it for the past 2 seasons. Aaron Donald might be gone soon too, which thank the Lord. Oh my goodness.
I'm tired of him.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sick of him wreaking havoc on us, but it's just interesting. I'm not a believer. Matthew Stafford has like arthritis in his like elbow or something, and he just hasn't been the same ever since the Super Bowl. It kind of sucks from a career standpoint, because I do like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
He's in our division, so it makes me like him a lot less.
Yeah.
But as a guy, I like him. It sucks having to deal with a Super Bowl win, and then next thing you know, you can't play football at the level you were playing football at, and it's just you see the career spiral down. So
right. Well, especially when he was in the Lions. He was a very likable guy, guy that you wanted to root for, right? Obviously, with one of the Rams, it was a little different, but okay. I think we got a couple more. We got my guy AZ Fans. Okay, the last one for me. Cardinals win 31-17 final. We'll be doing our predictions. If you don't mind, we'll do a score prediction. Just kind of up there at the end. And we're going to be shutting down here pretty soon. We got my guy Daya saying MHJ. So Marvin Harrison Jr. equals Cardinals Megatron. Damn.
That is a bold prediction and comparison.
Damn.
Marvin Harrison to Megatron. I mean, if he pans out to that, by all means, I will take it.
Oh, yeah.
That means he's top 5.
Dude, that would be wonderful. All right, man, let's do predictions. Everybody, also predictions here in the comments below. You got my AZ 31-17. What are your thoughts, Mythic?
I don't remember what I said in the video that I made or the prediction we made, because I know I gave it both, but You know what? I'm still rocking with the Cardinals win. I don't care. Even if Hollywood's out, we're going 21-17. Cardinals are coming out on top, and we are going to win a nail biter. Josh Dobbs is going to come in here. He's going to win one game. We're going to be 1-0 and shock the world.
Woo, love it. I like it. I have the Cardinals winning as well, and I have had a lot of Commander fans come on my videos and be like, "You're crazy." Well, we'll see, right? We'll see.
You guys have no chance. There's
Yeah.
we have the talent. Like, listen, let me at least be optimistic for 1 week. Like this might be all I have. Like, let me have 1 week.
Try to crush our dreams that quickly. I love I live at 21-17, but just to make it different, I'm gonna say 24-21. I do think points are going to be put up here on the board. But I say Matt Prater wins it for us with a field goal. I think it's going to be tie until the last 2 minutes, and hopefully it works out for the Cardinals.
I love it.
We got the low scoring game, 3-9, 10-7. Sheesh. Cards 6-3. Damn. What were you going to say, dude?
If we end up not putting points up on the board like that, man, I don't know. Sitting through a 9-3 game is going to be brutal from a fan's perspective. But if we come out on top, it's okay. But if I sit through a 9-3 loss, I'm hopping on this with rage.
We'll have a different thing to talk about.
Sure. Absolutely.
100%. All right, man. We have hit the hour mark. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you so very much. If you haven't already checked out Mythic AZ, in the description of this video, there is going to be, I believe, his tag or a link to his YouTube channel. Definitely go and check him out. If you guys do want us to start a podcast, definitely give us some names, man. We're kind of struggling out here for a podcast name.
We're throwing it around. It's tough.
Yeah,
it really is, because you gotta, I don't know, because we got the Bird Gang thing we can throw in there. Maybe tie it around that. Just cards, Cardinals. Just drop some podcast names that you guys would like to see, because we're definitely struggling.
We're struggling here for sure. All right. Now, we do believe that we also have good chemistry here as well. So we are in the talks. We are in the works with it. I've already had multiple comments saying, you guys should do a podcast. We're talking about it. Chill. Give some time. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards. Later.
Yes, sir.